We're visiting the electorate of Fara, which stretches from Wentworth in the west of the state to Albury in the east, takes in the Murray River and covers about 126,000 square kilometres. The reason the seat's so interesting is because even though it's got a 20% margin for the sitting member, Sussan Ley is facing a strong challenge from Kevin Mack, who is the Albury mayor, and Albury is the biggest population centre in Fara. The issue setting Fara alight is water. It's been exacerbated by drought, and anything anyone can talk about in this electorate is water. We started our trip in the east of the electorate in Albury, which had seen the week before a protest from farmers from outside of the town over the water allocations. And what do you think of politics from the main street of Albury?
I think we've got a lack of good candidates. You could say Liberal, Labor. I have my preference of which one I'm going to vote for, but I think they're both probably a little bit lacking, right through from the Prime Minister down to local council.
I've had a policy for quite some time of only voting for minor parties or independents at the top of my ballot paper. When someone tells me that they only vote for Labor or they only vote for Liberal, it tells me that they've stopped thinking. It tells me that they're not paying attention and they've stopped thinking.
Right on to those there, right, what's 120? Aye.
Craig Galpin, fourth generation dairy farmer. My whole life I've been a Liberal National voter, and so have my parents before that. This year I'll definitely be changing, voting maybe an independent. Kevin Mack, I'd suggest. We need something to happen. They need to take notice of what's going on in the area for sure. That's our number one priority, is feeding these things out here. I've had to sell land to try and survive. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here. We're nearly exhausted all of our revenue raising. I can't sell many more cows, otherwise it becomes unviable to milk them. Yeah. So yeah, it's tough.
We use 100% fresh fish. We don't use any rotting or putrefying product.
Yeah.
My name's Harold Clapham. I'm a director and shareholder of Charlie Cart, the factory that you're in at the moment. Water will play a huge role in this particular electorate. There is no doubt about that.
Tell me about the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. What sort of effect has that had on the community?
Well, it's had a disastrous effect. I don't think anybody could sit here legitimately say that any regional town in these areas have benefited as a whole or as a broader community as a result of it. There is a real danger of losing a generation, of genuinely losing a generation. If you see 15 or 16 dairy farmers walk off, there's 15 or 16 families.
My name's Jane Crowhurst. I've been living and farming in Blighty for 30 years. Water is our biggest issue here, and at the moment with the problems we've got, it would have been nice to see somebody to come and talk to us. The area is dying, and it's a shame that they've let it go so long when it's the end of the irrigation season and they could have helped us before now.
Absolutely no confidence anymore. There's a lot of anger, frustration, depression. It is just rife at the moment with what's happened. I mean, back when our forefathers built the Hume Dartmouth Dam, it was to drought-proof this region because it is a food bowl. We are a food bowl. We're close to Melbourne. We're only 8 hours from Sydney. We can provide the nation with food. Now, that's going. And I don't know what it's going to take for Australia to get a jolt. Whether city people start paying through the roof for food, for staples. Until that day happens, I don't think we're going to see anything politically change, unfortunately. So Scott Morrison's talking about with a surplus and whatnot, and obviously they've got the budget in shape, and he's all about business growth and employment, jobs, which is what the country needs. In our area, it's total opposite. Everything is on a downward spiral, and nothing's being done about it politically. But it's not the coalition, it's the Labor Party as well. Both major parties have just shown total neglect to our region and to this food bowl. So something needs to drastically change.
Dairies are starting to shut down. Every week there's a couple more. It's quite scary. And the scariest part about it is that there's no action, nothing's happening. There's lots of words, and everyone's making promises, but nothing's actually happening, and that's what's scary.
In our situation, we lost 80% of our groundwater with no compensation, just the stroke of a pen. Some people lost over 90% of their water with no compensation, and all of a sudden, there goes their equity in their loan, and they've got to sell up. I know of 2 suicides. I was actually here at Blighty one night, and there's 4 of us at the bar, and I was the only one not on antidepressants. A lot of people are really struggling, and they can't see a way forward.
We can't produce food without water. This is going to become station country. So with the election, out with the Liberals, in with the Independents, or out with the big parties, because the population's in the city and we're getting nothing out here, absolutely nothing.
$90 now. Heck, $90 done. $90 goes to Fletcher. Goulburn Rams, Goulburn Rams. Righto, yeah, Southern, righto, get into those there. They've booked good bodies again, right, no waste, it's right for those.